Tulane is rightfully so, even though I don't know how they pulled off some of the games that they pulled off. Tulane is second in the standings to get into the AAC championship game. So they basically just need to win out the season and they're guaranteed a slot. Now, Temple, where they're going on the road to, KC Keeler has gotten Temple to the point that they're interesting. Gotten beaten. The Army loss was just some. I'll be perfectly honest with you. What Jeff Monken did, okay, cool. He played by the rules of the game and everything, and I can respect that. But what he did at the end of that game was not something anybody can prepare for, and it shows that Jeff Monken doesn't actually care about the spirit of football. East Carolina, okay, they got beat by East Carolina at home. Their Temple Stadium right now is just not what it should be. Now, they were able to beat Tulsa in an overtime game. They beat Charlotte convincingly. Barely got beat by Navy. UTSA, they beat them it wasn't even much of a shootout, but it was enough. Lost to Georgia Tech, but were respectable in that game. Weren't respectable versus Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma and UMass wins. Okay, so Tulane is coming into town. Tulane has, I mean, seriously, they lost to UTSA. UTSA just rolled them. Even though, yeah, they did score 26, it's 48-26. Ole Miss, well, of course, Ole Miss beat Tulane. But they were able to scrape by Memphis. Okay, they beat FAU by 11. They scraped by East Carolina by a touchdown. They beat Army by a touchdown. Tulsa was convincing. Okay, yeah. Duke by a touchdown, but still, that's Duke, an AAC school. I mean, ACC school. Now, they really beat down Northwestern, but Northwestern deserved that one and barely scraped by South Alabama. So, these two teams are an oddity. Tulane's winning games, but barely. KC Keeler knows how to win these types of games. I'm wondering here. Now, do I think I'm going to go by the numbers here? But Temple is no joke. I would say that with these two teams, number three on the list. I made a video before. My other video of today is the second hardest game, which is East Carolina headed to the Alamo Dome. This is the third hardest game on this list. Tulane has been odd in their games. Temple, under KC Keeler, is getting back to the point that they are a very scary team. So, we're going to cover this. Before we do, hit like, hit subscribe if you like college football, if you like AAC football, if you like college sports, because I also cover women's gymnastics and a few other sports here and there, sometimes basketball. So hit like and subscribe. It would really help me out. Next, if you really feel generous, and I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just putting it out there. I do have a Patreon. It's in my link tree down below. And tell me how you came to the page, and I will listen to what y'all want. Now, let's get into it. Hey folks, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I want to thank you for viewing my video, and I want to give you one thought process. There was a famous coach at the University of Tennessee by the name of General Robert Neyland. He had 6 maxims, but number 2 maxim is what everybody should apply to their life. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That's how to live your life right there. Now, since Tulane is going to be the visiting team, Jake Retzlaff is their QB1. 164 completions out of 268 attempts, 2,195 yards through the air. He's at 61.2% completion rate. That's almost like seriously, just an odd thing for what Retzlaff has done. He's only thrown 12 touchdowns, has 4 interceptions, only been sacked 7 times. But then again, though, the man knows how to get on his feet and go. Brendan Sullivan, his backup quarterback, is 18 of 28, thrown 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, been sacked twice. So they got 15 touchdowns through the air, 6 interceptions, and 9 sacks. Okay, everything looks okay. Offensive line, really good. Interceptions, not bad, but with only 15 through the air. But now Jake Retzlaff's got 94 carries, 557 yards, got 11 touchdowns on the ground, 69-yard long run. It's basically a modified triple option. That's all this team is. Gavin Gordon, 94 carries, 408 yards, 4 touchdowns. They got 19 touchdowns on the ground. They got a couple of guys that's got some touchdowns other than that. But they got some guys that's got a few yards here and there. But Jake Retzlaff, Gavin Gordon on the ground game are their ground game. Now, through the air, Chaz Preston has caught 28 catches, 443 yards, 65-yard long run, 3 touchdowns. Bryce Bohannon, Anthony Brown, Stevens, and Zachary. Oh, wait a minute here. Bryce Bohannon, Anthony Brown, Stevens, and Zachary Lewis both have 2 touchdowns. Okay, so I was getting that right. There's several other guys that's got 1 touchdown apiece with their 15. They've got a good receiving core. Some of them can actually do some breakouts. I mean, Chaz Preston, 65, Anthony Brown Stevens, 54, 63 for Zachary Lewis. Bryce Bohannon and Amari Hayes both have 42 yards. I mean, they know how to break out. And Jake Retzlaff has a 69-yard run when he was doing some rushing. So they've got dudes that can make some breakouts. It really does give you the numbers and the reminiscence of a triple option kind of offense. A little bit better planned. John Summerall knows what he's doing, though. 22 on the defensive side. They got 22 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. That's not bad. 36 pass deflections, not bad. 10 interceptions, that's good. But no, they've not scored that way. Now, they only have 5 forced fumbles and 6 fumble recoveries. Those are kind of low numbers. 22 sacks, but they do protect against the air game. Now, Jack, I can't pronounce his last name. I'm going to say Shinchu. I am hoping I am not butchering that man's name. He's a safety. They're way too reliant on their safeties. But he has 64 yards, 1 sack, 3 pass deflections, an interception. Chris Rogers, linebacker, 51 tackles, 2 sacks. They've got a safety with the sack. Okay, but Chris Rogers got 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 1 forced fumble. Bailey Despani, who is a safety as well, 50 tackles, 3 pass deflections, 1 interception. And penalty wise, they got 78 for 701 yards. They're averaging 70 yards a game in penalties. Not a disciplined team at all. They've got a remodified triple option basically for their offense, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong, but their defense has got a lot of holes in it. They're decent in a lot of areas, but they also have a lot more weaknesses than they should. Now, Temple, Evan Simons, 158 of 254. He's at 62.2% completion rate, 1,847 yards through the air. But now he does have 22 TDs, only 1 interception, but he's been sacked 13 times. Now, his backup, Giovanni McCoy, 19 to 23, 194 yards, got 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 sacks. So they got 16 sacks. That offensive line is not holding at all. I'm sure KC Keeler wants to work on that. But they do have 24 through the air and only 1 interception. This is a very accurate duo of quarterbacks, even though they probably throw off more than they should. Now, on the rushing game, hey, Jay Ducker, 138 carries, 729 yards, got a 55-yard long run, 6 touchdowns. Hunter Smith and Evan Simon both have 2 touchdowns. Evan Simon's got 63 carries on 199 yards, got a 34-yard long run. So he knows how to get out of the way when the pocket just disassembles. Hunter Smith, 50 carries, 322 yards, a 72-yard long run. So they've got a ground game. They've only got 12 touchdowns that way, though. Part of that's because they've got an offensive line that doesn't know how to hold long enough to make for anybody to make up their mind. That's 1,577 yards. Through the air, Gia Holloway has got 34 catches, 445 yards, 6 touchdowns. JoJo Bermudez, Peter Clark both have 4 touchdowns. They each got well over 400 yards. JoJo Bermudez got a 38-yarder. Peter Clark's got a 50-yarder. Colin Chase has got 3 touchdowns. They've got Jay Ducker and Ryder Cush each have 2 touchdowns. The 24 through the air, decent yardage, that's not a weakness, especially with those quarterbacks that know how not to throw interceptions. It's their run game that's a little odd. They're too reliant on Ducker in a lot of ways, but hey, they've got two guys that can take up the slack in Hunter Smith, Evan Simon. Defensively, they've only got 15 sacks on opposing quarterbacks. That's a that is a bad weakness. They can't get to opposing quarterbacks, and they've got an offensive line that lets their quarterbacks get sacked. Not a good look. They do have 28 pass deflections, which isn't bad. 7 interceptions, really, I mean, that's not bad. And they've got 1 touchdown from an interception. They have 7 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries. Seriously, I'm looking at this, and this is definitely a group of five defense. Now, Curly Ordonez has got 66 tackles, 1 sack, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble. Avery Powell, a safety. Another one of those, they're letting them get into the secondary too much. Got 42 tackles. That's way too much of a drop off between your first and your second tacklers. He does have an interception and 2 fumble recoveries. Jalen Castleberry, a cornerback's got 37 tackles. See, it's he does have 5 pass deflections. This defense is just not doing much. And penalty wise, they're 47 for 48, 48 yards a game. Not bad on discipline, but they're they don't have the players. I mean, then again though, this is KC Keeler's first year and they're 5-5. I'm looking at this and I'm going, hey, they know they got to get that defense better. This defense has to learn how to hold a little bit better. They need to be able to strip the ball a little bit better. They definitely need to get to the opposing quarterback. And their offensive line just can't handle water. They do have some bright spots. Hey, Jay Ducker, big bright spot. Jai Holloway, JoJo Bermudez, Peter Clark, Evan Simon, all bright spots. Curly Ordonez is a bright spot. They have dudes that know what they're doing. Adrian Lang, cornerback's got 2 interceptions. That's a bright spot. They're just not there where KC Keeler would want them to be. But KC Keeler's got this team humming, and I want to see next year. Look, should John Summerall and the Tulane Green Wave win this game? Yes. Temple is a good team, but Tulane is at 8.5 points favorite in this game. The problem is that Tulane, you don't know which Tulane you're going to get. You don't know with Temple how strong everything's going to be. But I think that Tulane will be able to win this game just for the simple fact of they've shown a lot more fight this year. Temple, who is still learning, this is a good team. I am not saying anything against Temple. I am just saying that they aren't there yet. KC Keeler has had to rebuild everything. He's put some fight in them out. I mean, they are hooting loudly, but they aren't quite there yet. Tulane, As long as they don't, Tulane needs to get out there and play. They need to quit joking around. They need to take this serious. And I know Jake Retzlaff does. I know that Shaz Preston, Gavin Gordon, they've got a lot of guys that are willing to get out there and play, but they've got to shore up everything. They have to play like what they did against Memphis. Temple, there is a chance they could win this game. I'm not saying that they can't, but it's going to be more on what Tulane does than what Temple does. If Temple, KC Keeler is perfectly able to do this, can take mistakes made by John Summerall and Tulane, yeah, this game will turn bad real quick. I just don't think they can. I just don't think that there will be that many chances. But Tulane has surprised me this year a couple of times. That UTSA game is one of them. But you tell me what you think. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.
I want to thank you for watching my video. And if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day now.